Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cindy Barella. I am a local hairstylist in Nashville and Newport Beach, California and Nashville, Tennessee. I decided to come on my channel today because I had gotten so many requests on another video that I did that I called a Crazy Client Story, and people seem to really enjoy it. And I got so many comments and requests from people to tell more stories. And I have so many that I thought, okay, I'll go ahead and start going through my repertoire of stories, and because I love makeup so much and getting ready and all that good stuff, that I thought, well, I can go ahead and get ready and kind of mix in a little bit of the story as I'm getting ready. I hope you guys enjoy the story that I'm about to tell you. I will not be revealing anybody's personal information, and stick around and I will share it with you. Here we go. But if you guys have any questions regarding the products that I am using, you can just ask me in the comments below and I will respond. Anyways, so you guys, this is a doozy. You guys asked and you guys are going to receive. All right, so I got a call. I had recently moved to Nashville, and so I was newer out here, didn't really know and have a lot of clients yet. So I was kind of like not as picky with the clientele that I was going to go ahead and start taking. So I had a woman call in one day, and she was, sounded older, but I couldn't tell. She sounded a little kooky, just kind of a little out of it, but I wasn't really sure at this point. She said she had to get in right away. I believe the day was like a Tuesday, and she needed to get in before Friday because she said that she had to be in court for a divorce, that settlement or divorce case that she was going through, and needed to get it done ASAP. So I said, okay, no problem. She needed extensions and she wanted more volume. She said her hair had gotten really thin because of stress and whatnot. So I said, no problem. I said, I'm going to have you send me a picture of the front and of your hair so I can just make sure that I have your colors in stock. Based on the description of her hair, she had said her hair was fine and dark brown, and she just wanted it for some volume. So I said, no problem, just send me, again, text me the picture. I will take a look, make sure I have your colors in stock so that you are ready to go, and I'm ready for you at your appointment on Thursday, let's say it was. So I thought, she's a little odd, and I think I put in my phone a little note next to her name and said, might be a little cuckoo. I just wasn't sure. And I was like, this way I know who's calling and when they're calling and who I have, like just to kind of be prepped on how to deal with the situation. So the appointment time comes, and she called on the phone before the appointment. She was running late because the Uber that she was taking was lost or something, and that she had to get out of the Uber because somebody next to her in the car next to her was doing something to her. And I wasn't really clear on that whole situation, but she was running late. At this point, I started getting the vibe, and you hairstylists out there know what I'm talking about. You start going, okay, something's a little fishy here. So I said, all right, I kind of prepped the girls at the salon that I work at. Now a little side note, like, hey guys, there's a woman coming in. She sounded a little bit off. I just want to kind of give you a prep so that you're not shocked when she comes in, because I suspect that this is going to be an interesting appointment. She finally gets there, and let me just set the scene. She walks in with a water jug, about that big. I mean, it was one of the giant ones. And she said that, and she kind of stumbled in, I should say. And she's kind of looking a little haggard. She had short, dark hair, kind of to here, very fine. And her makeup was very interesting. She had eyeshadow that looked like she had dipped her finger in the eyeshadow palette or liquid eyeshadow, something like that, and literally dragged it across her eyes on both sides. Then she had a fuchsia lipstick on that was not in the lines. It was like around the lips. I don't know if she was attempting at overdrawing or overlining her lips. I'm not really sure. I could see her walking up and I knew, uh-oh, okay? And so anyways, remember, in the picture, I had only seen the front of her hair. Normally, I ask for a picture of the front and the back of their hair because this way I can just make sure all the layers, how they match up, what kind of cut I'm gonna need to do, you know, just making sure. But it just sounded like such a simple appointment volume. I mean, it literally will take me a half an hour. I had the exact amount of hair that I would need for that situation. And so I thought this is gonna be a super easy appointment. I scheduled just enough time for what I quoted her and what she said that she wanted. So of course she's late, so that was gonna throw my schedule off, but I was like, I can still make this. Y'all, she sits down and I see the back of her head. And when I tell you I was shocked with what I saw, I didn't know how to react. I was nervous because I suspected that she was under the influence of something, and by the jug that she was carrying, I was assuming it was alcohol, maybe something else, maybe both. I don't know. So I proceed to look at the back of her head. There's no hair on the back. So she has hair here, you turn around, and the hair was stubbles that were coming out of her head. Now, some of you may be aware of a OCD illness that some people have called, I think it's called trichomania. Please help me with the comments. I always forget what it's, how you pronounce it, but it's an OCD disorder that people have, and they mindlessly pull their hair out. So, you know, you can't blame somebody for a disorder they really don't have any control over, but this seemed different. This seemed, I can tell by the way the hair was being pulled out, it was kind of all over. Typically, when someone has this disorder, they have a specific area they focus on. Sometimes they pull their eyelashes out, sometimes they put their eyebrows out, but usually it's a little area. This was like the whole back of her head. So she was really going at it. I don't know if this was because she was under the influence and she was just kind of doing, I'm not sure, you know, I don't know her personal story, but she sits down and says, she starts asking really odd questions. And I'm in my mind trying to process, how am I going to do this? I was intimidated to tell her because I thought she was under the influence. And you know, when you have somebody who's under the influence of something, you don't want to upset them or do something because you don't know how they're going to react. You know, I mean, it could get, you know, hostile. You just don't know. And I was nervous. I was like, this doesn't seem right. It's a salon that I haven't worked at for very long, so I don't know the girls that well to feel comfortable enough to have like an ordeal take place in a salon that's not mine. You know, in my own salon, I probably would have had more confidence to say, you know, I don't feel comfortable doing your hair, or there's, you know, I really prefer to do you when you're not under the influence of something. You know, I mean, I don't know, but it was an odd situation to say the least. So I said, okay, I started coming up with a plan. I said, I'm going to do it a different way so that it will cover this area, because she was so desperate to have this done before her court date. So then she starts asking, so I start on the appointment and I'm working, and she starts asking me very strange questions like what brand purses I like, and if somebody was going to buy me something, what would I like? And she started talking about her husband, and I think her husband had an affair, and she said that she needed to look really hot for the judge on Friday so that she could get a really good settlement, and that, you know, she wanted her husband to see her looking amazing, and we can all understand that, right? Anyway, she says, I didn't even know how to answer these questions. I'm kind of just working because I have other clients coming, and I know that this is going to be, you know, running really tight because I was doing double the amount of work that I would have normally than what I originally had suspected I was going to do. So obviously I was running really tight on time. She starts to say that she, meanwhile drinking out of her jug, she starts to tell me that her husband and her had gotten into a fight and she stabbed him. because the husband was being mean to her dog. I'm like, oh my God, please hurry up and just finish this because you need to get out. And so she says, okay, yeah, I stabbed him in the leg, and because of that, I was put in jail for 3 or 4 days or something. And I'm like, okay. So, of course, I have 2 other clients that are there at this point. They arrived because they're there for their following appointments. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting anxiety because I'm just like, how do I get this lady out of the chair? Because she starts talking to everybody that's sitting around her. My next client is the nicest lady ever and is sitting there and doesn't really know what's going on to the full extent, but I think people are starting to get the idea. I could tell the stylists were looking at me like, Cindy, what's going on? And I'm kind of looking at them like, help, like, I don't know how to deal with this, because she was really talking erratic and like just kind of just really all over the salon. Like she was just kind of sitting in her chair, kind of moving her head and like doing this and talking to the gal next to me and talking to the gal next to her. And so she starts talking to my following client, and she tells my client, I would love to take you to dinner. And my client, so sweet, was like, you know, I would love to, but I am sorry, but I'm, you know, I've got something else going on. And she says, oh, no. It's totally fine. I'm really cool. Cindy, tell her I'm not a lesbian or anything. And I'm looking at her like, I don't know, whatever, you know? And I'm just like, oh my God. So then she goes, I need to look super hot, everybody. Who does eyelashes here? I don't know the girls very well. Like I said, I just started at this salon. So I'm looking at everybody like, somebody help. That would be amazing. That would get her out of my chair. That would make me, you know, give me a break from this lady sitting in my chair. I don't know how to get her out. So she says, the girl that works upstairs, I call her down, ask her, hey, do you have time to take this lady for lashes for a quick set? She said, yeah. And I'm looking at her like, thank you. Goes upstairs and says, begins her lash service. I can't hear anything that's going on, but my client was fine. I finally was able to finish my clients, and I hurried up, got out of there, and was done. So then, well, actually I didn't leave, I'm lying. I hurry up, finish their services, and this woman comes down from her appointment and begins to tell me another story about how she has to go identify her neighbor's body who was just murdered the day before. I'm like, oh, okay. God, I'm really sorry to hear this. You know, good luck, and I wish you the best. She goes, but I want more hair. I want my hair to be the biggest. I want my hair to be the best. And I'm thinking, oh, God, I don't have any more hair to put on you. When I scheduled the appointment, you had said, you know, this is what you wanted. And I had exactly the right amount of hair. She says, I don't care. I want more. I want more. And I said, well, I have to order more. I'm more than willing to do this for you, but I need to order it, and it won't be here in time for your court date. And she says, I don't care. I want more. Order it. I'm fine. And I'm thinking, I don't want to do this woman anymore. Please get her out of my chair. I can't anymore. I'm really getting anxiety. When you're dealing with somebody who's under the influence of something, they're just not rational, and you're nervous. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to deal. So I finally, like, if it was somebody sober, I'd have been like, I'm really sorry. I just don't think we're a match. I think that you'd be better suited with somebody else, and, you know, go off on your merry way. But obviously, if she wasn't under the influence of something, she wouldn't have behaved that way. So I thought maybe this is just a one-time thing. I don't know. So then I said, she says, let's schedule another appointment ASAP. I'm like, okay, my next available is whatever day, and, you know, let's have you come in. Okay. So then she says, she pays for the service, pays for her eyelashes, gets out of there. The girls then proceed to tell me that she was upstairs, passed out on the table when you get your lashes done. She's literally laying, and she's spreading her legs open and closed like this, and has her legs like this, and is completely passed out. One of the girls decided to go check in her thermos, and it's pure vodka, as I'm sure would all assume. We don't even know how to deal with this at this point, but we're like, oh my God, this lady is crazy. She says to the girls upstairs that she was just released from a mental institution and had been placed there for an evaluation, and I don't know what. So clearly the lady, there was something mental and alcohol related, and who knows what else. So the girls decided to look it up because they thought maybe she's just crazy, and she's just making these stories up. Nope. They found her. Sure enough, she was put in jail for stabbing her husband, and she had just been released from and was committed to a mental institution. You guys, I was freaking out. I'm like, how do I get these clients? And they even proceeded to ask me, they're like, where exactly do you get your clients? Because I had a couple that were questionable. And I said, I get them where I get all my clients, where I advertise. I don't know if they're just, I just happen to get the luck of the draw. I really don't know, but I am kind of at a loss for words. At this point, I'm like, I cannot take this client again. I can't go through that anxiety. It really made me feel nervous. The rest of the day, I just kind of felt off because it was so stressful. So the following day, she calls me and says, Cindy, I need more hair. I want more hair. I don't know what to do. Please help me. Please help me. I said, what can I say? I said, I'm leaving back to California and I don't know when I'm going to be back. She then goes, well, how long will you be gone? I have to get in. I said, I am so sorry. It was a last minute trip and I'm really not sure when I'll be back. To be perfectly honest, my husband and I are considering getting a divorce, and I think I'm moving back to California. Mind you, I'd have only been in California for about a month. So I was like, it was like the craziest thing I could think of to say, because I just didn't know how to tell her, I'm not coming back. You can't come back to me. What do I say? I can't do that. So she says, finally, she kind of had some sympathy and said, I am so sorry to hear about that. What do I do? And I said, I haven't been out here long enough because God forbid, I'm not going to refer her to somebody else. I would never do that to anybody. I would hope nobody would send somebody like that to me. So I said, gosh, I really don't know. You probably could find someone else if you search for it online. But I mean, I really wish you the best of luck, and I will definitely let you know if and when I come back to California. Come back from California. I probably won't be back for a couple of months. She says, okay, sounds good. You guys, she then goes and puts a stop payment on the eyelashes that she had done through the salon because I don't know why, but she, because they didn't have a chip reader at the time on your credit card, you have to have a chip reader in order for your credit card to be secured. They didn't have one at the time. And so unfortunately, they ended up taking a loss for their service. I felt terrible because obviously I referred them and it just made me feel horrible, but I don't know what to do, and so I said, I tried to get a hold of her myself. She wasn't answering the phone. And I said, gosh, if and when I talk to this lady again, I'm definitely going to tell her that she needs to rectify the situation. And she was talking with them on the phone and said, I'm going to pay it. I'm going to pay it. But then kept flaking and just never did. And I don't know. It was such a bizarre situation. So it gets better. You guys, a year goes by and I hadn't heard from her. I was like, thank God, situation is finally over. Cuckoo Bird, how I had her in my salon, in my address book, was not reaching out anymore. Thank God. And so I said, all right, I'm free of her, you guys. A year. It's the middle of the night. She sends a message. I get a message. I see her name in my phone and I'll never forget her name, obviously. And I even put a little note next to her name saying Cuckoo because she was Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, okay? She says, Cindy, I don't know if you remember who I am, but I came to you for services about a year ago and I really am doing poorly with money. I need your help. If you could please refund my money for the services that you provided last year, I really appreciate it. What do you say? What do you say to that? I said, anyway, I said, what do I do? I don't even want to respond to her. I don't even want to engage with her. You could see she started sending messages of copies of our conversations and that had transpired, you know, so that it would jog my memory, like if I had forgotten her all of a sudden. And so I didn't respond, and I thought, I've got it. I'm going to say, I don't know who she is. So I said, who is this? And she says, Cindy, don't you remember you did my hair about a year ago? You know, I would really, really be appreciative if you could refund my money back from the services back when you did them. I said, I am so sorry. I don't know who this is. Please don't text me again. My name is Steve. Anyway, that was it. I've never heard from her again. It's been like 2 years, and I am more than happy that she has never come back. I have never seen her again, and I don't even know what I would do. I think I would play amnesia. There's no way she could remember my face, because she was wasted. I mean, how would she even remember me? I don't know. She was stumbling all over the salon. The girls at the salon were asking, you know, please don't have her back here. I mean, we don't want this woman who's literally a liability in the salon stumbling over herself, and making everybody else feel uncomfortable, obviously. But you guys, I've got so many more stories like this. I mean, each one outdoes the other. I didn't even know where to start, honestly. I started kind of reliving stories in my head. I know you guys had made so many comments about wanting to hear more crazy client stories, and I've got so many that I just kind of went down the list and decided to pick out ones that stand out the most. So if you guys liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be having plenty more stories, plenty more makeup. Get ready with me. Today was kind of, you know, half makeup, half hair, just enough to kind of get my story out. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I always love talking about client stories, and trust me, I'll have so many more coming down the pike. So have a great day. We'll see you again soon. Bye.